energizing journey with the Bloomer Boomer community. Register on the website for the newsletter and qualify for member benefits. And now, here's Cyndi Dale.
Hi, Bloomers. How are you? We are on an energy trek to energize ourselves. I am an energy healer, an energy worker. I access my intuition to help myself, my loved ones, and clients. And my dedication here is to help you find more of your own natural energy from inside of you so you can use it to meet your passions. In specific, today, we're going to talk about what to do, how to energize yourself if you feel blocked or somewhat stuck sexually or emotionally. And I have a story to kick these off. I'm going to pry into my youngest son's life and give examples of how we can use our sexual energy if we don't have an outlet for it, and how we can deal with emotions if we feel like they're repressed and or we're walking around with a lot of other people's emotions, which many of us are apt to do. He is a baseball pitcher, and he's a mighty fine baseball pitcher, and never had time for a relationship until this last year. He's now 21. So mothers aren't supposed to talk about their son's sexual lives, but I can, because he didn't have one for years and years and years. And kind of pretending I was a dad, a few years ago, I sidled up to him and I said, I know it might be frustrating for you that you don't have an outlet or this or that, and he goes, Mom, it's totally okay. Why do you think I'm such a good baseball pitcher? Like, I pour that energy into what I'm doing, which is sort of a commercial to how I'm going to talk about sexual energy in a few minutes. More recently, he called me up, and he's just under the gun with baseball, return to school, a girlfriend, which is a mighty fine expression for him on many levels. Great young woman. He said, Mom, I'm just so blocked creatively. He's an artist. He loves to draw. He loves to do photographs, and he's just on the go all the time and can't find any outlet for his emotionality. I said, so what are you going to do? And he said, I'm going to get a tattoo. Well, the mother in me is like, a tattoo. We already have a tattoo. But the energy master of me said, that's fantastic. Do a great design, pour your energy into it, because you know what? That kind of creativity is going to enable you to get even closer to your goals. So, sexual and emotional energy. What is it from an energetic perspective? Energy is information that moves. That's all it is. It's just data that is constantly vibrating. A definition you could use for absolutely anything in this universe, your micro or macro universe. Your phone, the physicality of it is energy. The text messages that come on or the emails that you receive are just energy. Your thoughts are energy. Your desires are energy. When you're having physical sense, you're spending energy and you're receiving energy. When you're not having physical sex, sometimes what happens is the energy that we want to put into our sexuality gets stuck and blocked. That's because there are two types of energy. There's physical energy, which is physical, which is measurable, like what your computer is made of or what your hardcore phone is made of. Most energy, however, is subtle. It's what we could also call quantum energy, which is the stuff that can move faster than the speed of light. You have quantum particles or teeny, 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 tiny parts of you that move so fast, you can even predict that a phone call is going to come in 10 minutes before it's going to, because this subtle part of you isn't inhibited by time or space. It's your invisible energy. And most of what appears in physical reality begins in the subtle universe of you, or you pick up on how to act or how to be based on the subtle messages coming to you from the world at large, from specific people, whether you are thinking about them or physically with them or not. I like to approach this idea of feeling blocked sexually or emotionally from a physical but also subtle point of view. And to do that, I have to further explain, as I have in a couple other of our broadcasts, what a chakra is. So you've probably heard that word if you do anything with yoga or deep breathing or meditation, you have learned about your chakras. There are two chakras that we're really going to focus on during our time together. They are subtle energy centers that can be found in or outside of the body, and each manages a specific set of physical, but also psychological and spiritual concerns. They're actually able to convert physical energy into subtle and subtle into physical. What's important about that is that, for instance, let's say you have arthritis, you could potentially transform the energy of the arthritis, the virus that might be implied in having certain arthritic conditions or the inflammation in the body into subtle energy and disappear it. Or use that energy to do something good for yourself, for your life, and for your healing process. Sexual blocks can be located or described in conjunction with the first chakra, which is in the hip area. Feel down into your hips. This is part of your body. And within there, in the coccyx area, and also connected to your adrenals, is what's called your red energy, your first chakra energy, or your physical life energy. Sexual energy, and yeah, there's also the genitalia there as well, is one type of life energy. It's the energy that you use to express your sexuality or to have sex and to give and receive great physical energy when you're having sex. Let's say you're sexually frustrated. Let's say you're unable to have sex right now, whether it is that you can't have it, it's not appropriate medically to have it, you don't have a sexual partner. Obviously, there's many practical things you can do, masturbate, etc. But if your sexual energy doesn't get expressed, it becomes what we call in my energy field a block. It becomes kind of congealed physical and subtle energy that keeps your physical energy from being accessible to you. It can actually sicken you if you don't have enough, not just sexual energy, but life energy coming up from this chakra. It's supposed to rise up through the spine, enhance you, energize you, give you passion, give you get up and go, burn out inflammation and microbes. So if you're sort of stuck sexually, you could be experiencing some physical symptoms. Now, let's talk about emotional energy. We're going to go backtrack and talk about how to free up some sexual blocks and what you can do with that energy in a minute. Emotional energy sits in the abdomen. That's a chakra that is often seen as orange and is the center of your feelings and your emotions. The physical sciences actually support that understanding because in here is also located in your abdomen, is also located what's called your enteric nervous system. It's a nervous system that's like a brain that runs your immune system, your digestion, and your feelings. So if you're not feeling your feelings, what gets blocked up? That digestive center, all the organs around here, and literally you can become sick. 80% of your immune system lies in that abdominal area. And so you can, you fail to enhance your immune system, which means that you can either develop allergies, autoimmune disorders, or like we're saying, emotional or physical sorts of challenges. That orange energy does more than help you have feelings and keep that part of your body healthy. It can also be used for creativity. So, we're going to return to talk about the second chakra in a couple minutes to talk about what you can do if you feel emotionally shut down or emotionally blocked, like nobody knows what you feel or cares about what you feel, or maybe that you end up caring more about others' feelings than you do your own. So let's go back to your first chakra. What can you do if you just know you're sexually repressed or you're not able to drive your sexual energy into power and passion? Well, first of all, don't be scared. Just like my son, you can use that life energy, that red energy for any type of physical pursuit. So if you aren't expressing it sexually, or if you can't express it sexually in a way that fulfills you or enhances who you are, remember you're still a sexual being. Wear clothes that feel good to you. Put red on because that's the sexual slash life energy color. Get out there and move around. Connect to that energy center in your hips. Visualize red energy coming up your spine when you don't feel good or if you want to accomplish something, and then select actions that you need to high drive for. Certainly, those can be exercises or movements, but any kind of physical engaging activity will pull that sexual energy up, free up your first chakra, and boom you bloomers forward. A hobby, a walk, a way to engage with something interesting for you. It can even be reading a book, an action book, or a romance book, especially because when you're involved in those kind of subjects or movies like that, that first chakra opens up, your sexual slash life energy slash power energy is naturally available to you, and you will feel physically better. I very frequently, a couple times a day, if I feel tired or like I'm lagging, just image the red energy that I know is in that hip area. I close my eyes, just like you could do now if you want. Take a couple deep breaths. Picture red fire down in the hips and invite that energy all the way up your spine, through your torso and your heart, up through your neck and your head and beyond, across your shoulders, down your arms, out your hands. You can even drive some of it down into your legs. And don't you feel more energized? So use that energy. Doesn't need to be used for sex. Action, activity, hobbies, passions. So let's talk a little bit more about what happens if you feel stuck or blocked or unexpressed emotionally. Now we're talking the second chakra, the orange chakra in the abdominal area. So it is important that you find a way to feel your feelings. There are 5 basic feelings. Every day, I either talk with a friend or sit down and write or just talk to myself about how I have felt or feel in each of the 5 basic feeling categories. I ask myself, I tell a friend, I write down, what am I or what have I been angry about? When you own that anger, you have power to set boundaries. I look at what I've been sad about. When you relate to whatever it is that has created sadness, your heart opens and you're ready to be more loving. Ask yourself what you have been or are scared about. Own that fear. When you own the fear, you can figure out how to get safer in a certain area of your life. Another feeling that's important to discuss internally or with a friend every day is disgust. We don't like to talk a lot about disgust Disgust isn't guilt or shame. Disgust is the body's way of saying, ugh, this is not good for me, or, oh, this person is not good for me. So own what has been or is disgusting. Maybe it's your oatmeal. And so stop eating the oatmeal. Maybe it's a certain person that you just don't feel good around. So stop sitting next to them or calling them so often on the phone. Be real with yourself, and that disgust energy won't leak out and be picked up by other people. And finally, every day, at some point, own, grow into, embrace your joy. Joy actually has many facets. There's many, many, many faces of joy. One is satisfaction. Another can be relief, like, oh, I got through the day. That can be joyous. Maybe bliss, ecstasy, maybe just a state of contentment or happiness. Own the joy, because then as you move forward in your life, you can get more of it. You can say, I'm going for more joy, and here's one way I get to do this, starting now, starting tomorrow, starting all the time. So use your feelings, own your feelings, feel those feelings, learn from your feelings, and boom, you're not going to feel emotionally stuck or repressed. Another activity that I encourage you to do with those feelings is create. The second chakra is about feelings, but also creativity. Go create. I don't care what that means for you. Paint a painting, dance a dance, do some kind of activity that makes you feel like you're in your body, you're sensual, get a massage, tell a story, read a story. We are creative beings, and our feelings are going to get very irritated. We're going to get into some kind of anxiety or depression if we don't move the feelings in and through our ability to innovate and to express. I mean, I'm actually even creative when I'm doing the laundry. I know this sounds really goofy. I'm not a painter person. Like, I love paintings, but they're all in my house from and by somebody else. So I sing when I'm doing the laundry, which is a way for me to be creative, and nobody can hear me because nobody's there when I'm doing the laundry. Another subtle exercise that I'm just going to quickly walk you through is to move the orange energy of your second chakra up your body. So just as you did with the red energy, you're going to move the orange energy by taking a couple breaths, calming yourself, jumping into and feeling yourself in your abdomen, this sea of feelings and emotions, and the compelling need to invite expression. All those urges can be summarized and packed into the color orange. So I want you to visualize orange, whatever color of orange, many, many colors of orange. And then as you breathe, let them rise through your spine and up your body, into and out of your head, up through your torso, through your heart, across your shoulders, out your hands. And then either present your hands in front of you like they're cupped, ready to receive, or like they're open to give, to make, and to do. Because what's now available to you is your creative, expressive, wild, fantastical, emotional energy. Take a couple deep breaths. Bring yourself into the home in your body, wherever in your physical body you can breathe the deepest and you feel like you're most at home. Now energized to go forth. Thank you, Andy, for letting me share a little bit about the first and second chakras and the sexual and emotional energies that we all have.
Well, great. We'll be right back after this in less than 30 seconds to answer ask questions as well. You can be part of this amazing journey with the community. Register on the website, the newsletter, qualify for benefits. And now let's get back to Cyndi.
Hi, everybody. I hope that in our break, you were able to feel a little bit more red energy and orange energy moving. And I would love to answer any questions, Andy, that have been shared.
Okay, Cyndi. Well, Stephanie, she wants to know how she can have more sexual energy if she cannot have sex right now.
Well, isn't that the question? So we need to remember we are sexual beings, whether or not we are having sex, because sexual energy is a life energy. It's a red energy. It's a doing, moving, connecting, passionate, active physical energy. And so drive that sexual energy into activities, action, things you love to do, touch yourself. If you can, given the pandemic, give somebody a hug yourself, go out there with your dog. Being close to somebody or something physically is helpful. Get a pillow in your bed that, makes you feel good about yourself. Dress in red and, dress like you are a sexual being. So those are a few ways that I would take action, and read a great action or romance novel too, because that'll get you moving.
Okay. Cyndi, Bob says that he doesn't feel he's a creative, and he asks, how could he be more creative?
I hear this from so many people that they are sure that they're not creative, because we really do pigeonhole the word creative and apply it to the people who are so obviously kind of in the mix of the muses. They're dancing, they're singing, they're painting. Every action we take as human beings can be a creative expression if we're using our feelings while we're doing it and we're throwing ourselves into it and enjoying it. So I collect art from all over the world. I have art everywhere in my very small Rambler from different countries. And that's one of my ways of being creative, is I enjoy other people's creativity. I sing. I don't sing like my sister, the opera singer, sings. I don't sing like most people sing. I sing my own tunes to my own sense of rhythm and my own, sort of an octave system. So when I'm alone with the dogs in the morning, I get up really early. I'm at the dog park by 4:30. Once in a while, there's another fellow dog person out there, and then I talk. But if I'm alone, I sing when I'm out there. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be good. It just needs to be you. And again, you can get creative doing anything. Maybe you don't paint a painting, but every so often you want to paint a wall a different color to express who you are in this moment. So do what you do and enjoy it, and you're creating.
Well, Cyndi, that's what we have for this week. Maybe we'll have time for more next week. Can you come back and just tell us a little bit about next week's show and anything else you wanted to add?
Next week is about joy. So we're going to take a subtle and a physical approach to the idea of joy. There are actually 7 types of molecules made by the organs in your body that create or produce different types of joy. We're going to talk about those and do an exercise, a meditative exercise, to get those stirred up within you, so joy and the molecules of joy are always available to you. And just as a precursor to our discussion next week, think about how to have a little more joy in the week coming up. Express, be passionate, connect with somebody else, and you'll be ready for even more joy when we get together.
Well, thank you, Cyndi. I just want to let everybody know they can be part of this amazing journey with the Bloomer Boomer community, and we sure thank you and look forward to next week's show.
I do too. Thank you, Andy, and everybody out there.
Well, we want to thank Cyndi Dale, of course, and our amazing 55 75 plus community. Again, if you want to be part of this amazing journey with the Lunar People community, just register on the website for the newsletter. And also, you can qualify for benefits. And we'll see you at the next episode.